Happy New Year! Happy welcome to 2021. Gosh, never before in my living memory have we waited so anxiously for 1 year, the horrible 2020 to just end, and a brand new one, 2021, to start. But 2021 can only be happy and healthy if and only if we successfully vaccinate the bulk of our population so that COVID-19 is well and truly vanquished. Now in India, we need to consider five critical issues, and that's how we will be able to mount a truly effective vaccination program. One, we need to inoculate about 30 crore citizens. That's including frontline health and municipal workers, soldiers and law enforcers, everybody above 50 years of age, and those under 50 but with serious comorbidities or illnesses. Now these total up to about 30 crore citizens. Once we inoculate them, we can declare an effective victory over COVID-19. Given the rate at which we can produce the Oxford and the Bharat biotech vaccines, which are two of the most likely and promising candidates, this target can be achieved in about 6 months. Second critical issue, India also administers the largest immunization program in the world, around 390 million doses aimed at nearly 56 million children and pregnant mothers every year. Now that's outside the COVID-19 vaccination program. Now although we usually miss over 30% of this target, but it's still a very huge and a very crucial health program. So we simply cannot afford to downgrade it or ignore it. So here's the challenge. How do we scale up against COVID-19 without compromising the health of our children and pregnant mothers? Here's the third critical issue. The cost of the COVID-19 inoculation could be 60,000 crore rupees, upwards of 60,000 crore rupees, but the union government's annual health budget is just about 69,000 crores. So now you get the crisis that we could be looking at, right? And here's the fourth critical issue. Vaccine exports are a very significant chunk of our dollar earnings. By some estimates, we could be exporting over 1 billion vaccine doses, and these are worth over 1 lakh crore rupees, 1 lakh crore rupees worth of exports. Now this, of course, injects a very critical commercial angle in this whole trade-off of the decision that we need to take. So now, how can we create an ethical balance between subsidizing our poor and vulnerable while we protect the decades of hard work that has been done in building a very commanding global capability in vaccine production and exports? And finally, the fifth critical issue, we need to think of the economy too, which is likely to contract by nearly 10% this year. You know how much that is? That is about 20 lakh crore of income or output, 20 lakh crore of income or output, and thousands of jobs which are gone. So the COVID-19 vaccine must also be used to resurrect our economy quickly. Now, just imagine the positive impact if hotels, airlines, theaters, bars, malls, if all of them could get all their staff inoculated. Now, wouldn't people feel safe going in? Wouldn't the footfalls go up exponentially? Now, if a hotel or an airline, could also bundle in a free inoculation for their frequent customers, people who use their services regularly. If they bundle in a free inoculation, wouldn't business spike? Now, imagine that in these very large industrial complexes, if we could get all their workers inoculated on priority. Now, wouldn't the productivity jump exponentially too, because they would then not be running half-empty shop floors? So there are several examples which will just prove that if we use the COVID-19 vaccine intelligently, we can actually jumpstart our economy. Therefore, there is a case that some people should be allowed to buy the vaccine out of turn at a special price, so that they can start their businesses, jumpstart their businesses, and that would save thousands and thousands of jobs and livelihoods. So let me recap the COVID-19 vaccination challenge before us. We must inoculate 30 crore Indians on priority. Yet, we need to ensure that the non-COVID immunization program also stays on plan. We should ensure that we do not disrupt our very strong vaccine exports. Also, we should take every measure to revive our economy. And yet, while doing all of this, we cannot afford to spend too much more than the government's health budget of about 69,000 crores annually. So now you get the difficult trade-off that is ahead of us. Now, are all these objectives that I've just read out irreconcilable? Are they sort of mutually contradictory? Are they unachievable objectives? At first glance, it would appear so. But I will say, but again, there is one model in which all of these seemingly impossible objectives can be achieved, and can be achieved quite easily, I dare say. So therefore, I propose a two-track distribution plan for the COVID-19 vaccine. In the first track, the poor and the needy and the vulnerable should get it free, absolutely free, and that the government should give them absolutely free. In the second track, only 10% of the vaccine doses, these should be reserved for those who are willing to pay an exaggerated price. Let's say 10,000 rupees per shot, and that would happen under a Tatkal, like the railways, under a Tatkal or an instant purchase scheme. Now, this sort of super tax of 10,000 rupees could give the Indian government about 1 lakh crore rupees to fully underwrite the free, absolutely free administration of 90% of the vaccine in the first track. Finally, now let me rest my case by asking, have you considered what would happen if we don't allow this two-track premium Tatkal scheme in our COVID-19 vaccination program? Well, for instance, thousands of Indians would then travel overseas to get vaccinated, thereby sort of draining our resources instead of those resources getting invested in our local economy. And the second thing that would happen is a flourishing black market would emerge in getting, trying to convince doctors to, please doctor, give me a priority medical prescription. So there'll be a black market which will emerge in these priority medical prescriptions. Or of course, some people would go ahead and buy stolen vaccines. Again, all that would happen is that legal cash would get transferred to the underworld. That's if we don't follow the two-track vaccination program that I've proposed. Now, some people object to this two-track distribution plan with a sort of an ultimate argument. They say that Prime Minister Modi will get brickbatted by critics for running a pro-rich scheme. But that's just completely off the point. The Tatkal plan that I have proposed would be implemented by private hospitals. There would be no involvement of the government or its machinery. What's more, the private players would directly import. They would directly import a non-government brand, say the Pfizer or say the Moderna vaccines, which are not being procured by the government under their own plan. That would of course ensure that the government is able to use all the vaccines that the government has purchased. They would be completely used for the government's own free immunization drive. In fact, these private hospitals, clinics would actually pay a super tax of 10,000 rupees on every dose, each dose that they administer to these willing buyers. So therefore, frankly, Prime Minister Modi can easily convince the country that this is amongst his most pro-poor schemes.